So we've come pretty far on this bike. We started by totally tearing down the bike, removing the motor and figuring out what we had to work with. We cut the bike up, fabricated a custom hoop, got it welded into the frame. JD even started to get into the fabrication aspect by making a totally custom electrical tray made out of sheet metal, and then made a totally one-off custom cowl, which was one hell of a challenge, by the way. And in the last episode, the tank even got some of those big old dents removed, and the inside got a good clean, topped by a sealer kit to make sure we don't see rust anytime soon. Okay, so now what? Well, this episode is actually gonna be a lot of fun. JD contacted a local upholstery shop who is normally incredibly busy, but they were cool enough to get us in for the day and design a custom seat for this bike. So we actually dropped off the seat to Bux Customs a day before we came in to shoot. They had a lot of work to do with actually installing the foam on the seat. And to be honest, it's just not that exciting of a process to watch. But the rest of the seat process, that's a different story.
So next step at this point, we're going to maybe just dial these lines in just a little bit more. And then I use just a clear plastic. We'll get a pattern. You know, we have a split down the center. So we'll just pattern half here, half here. We'll get a pattern for that part. Go over the layout one more time, and then I transfer the pattern onto, from plastic onto a chipboard, like a cardboard. And then from the cardboard, it goes onto leather and the Alcantara and the sewing machine. If the plastic's not able to lay and it's not laying right in your seams, then your material's certainly not going to be happy as well. So, you know, we use the plastic to kind of really give it a hard stretch, and I tack glue it on there a little bit, and kind of gives an idea of what the leather's going to do. And then line this up, same thing. So we put all these lineup marks on here. So when you're sewing this together, you know, you get your dashes, so then you know the side panel, the top panel. If it's not lining up when you're sewing it together, then your seats, you know, it's not going to work out.
So I will say Chris is the man. I could listen to that dude talk about upholstery all day long. It's a side of the business that I don't get to see a lot of. So to watch a professional and an artist at work was just so cool.
So we use this. Now we're going to transfer the plastic templates that we took onto the cardboard, and then, you know, kind of fine tune the lines a little bit, dial everything in, and then you'll see what we do from there.
So you heard Chris talk about the actual cardboard templating process, but once that's dialed in, then they start moving over to the leather. Once they chalk the template onto the leather, then they can go and cut it out. They left a bunch of material on the outside of the leather, and you'll see why they do this later on. You You know, it's pretty crazy the amount of tools they have for jobs like this to make it a lot easier. Like these little blocks for holding down the cardboard when they're transferring the template to the leather. Just something I wouldn't have thought about. So you can see they cut the leather for both outside portions of the seat. Well, once that was done, they moved on to the main area, kind of where your butt's gonna sit.
So this is called foam. It's basically, yeah, I wouldn't say dense, but fairly dense foam that has a backing to it. So it just gives a little, well, once we do the diamonds, it's going to give a little definition to the diamonds. It stiffens things up a little bit as well. Makes the material a little bit stronger as well. So this is Alcantara. This is unbacked. A lot of times we do actually use a backed Alcantara, but we don't have any right now. So it is perfectly fine as far as this goes.
So once they get that foam and that fabric all lined up, they just use that adhesive out of that canister to lock the fabric to the actual foam. That adhesive is super sticky, by the way. But once that's nice and adhered, Chris was able to trim the foam to the exact shape of the fabric. So you can see on the seat right here, it has all those perforations. Well, that was a really cool process to watch.
So this is a CNC laser machine that we have in-house, so we can pretty much do our own perf designs. We can change it up as the layout, the style, how we want to do it, the size of the perf, the distance, yeah, pretty much however you draw it up in CAD. This machine, it's a giant printer, but a laser. So let's see what we can do.
I mentioned the specialized tools for this, but they even had an acrylic template for the designs of the stitching on the seat. He chalked out the line, which gave him the ability to easily see what he was doing when running the sewing machine. Which brings me to the best part of the process, putting all those pieces together. You gotta watch this. There's not much insight to this portion, and I only say that because it takes years of practice to get good at the process. So I'm not going to sit here and try to explain why they're doing what they're doing. Instead, I'll just let you enjoy the artist at work. Once the fabric and leather was all sewn together and it was assembled, it was just a matter of spraying the adhesive and fitting it up to the seat pan. This part of the process actually takes a ton of fine tuning, so we ended up leaving the shop, heading back to Eastwood, but let me tell you, the finished piece turned out amazing. Well, this was a fun episode. JD and I got to go out and experience something we knew nothing about. You should definitely check out Bux Customs. He does some seriously jaw-dropping interiors, and he's a great guy. Can't thank him enough for having us out. Next episode, we get into some powder coating. We get the wheels and the frame all ready for reassembly, and let me tell you, they turn out awesome. You are not gonna wanna miss this one. As always, guys, drop a comment, tell us what you think about the seat, the overall progress of the bike. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in any of the tools we've used in this series, you can visit eastwood.com or follow the link at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys.